Here we are where Dr. Energy Saver changed an old oil furnace. The oil furnace was only 10 years old, but it had a cracked heat exchanger. The heat exchanger is the part where the combustion gases go through and the air from the house goes around it, and the heat from the combustion gases heats the air that we send to the house. When you have a cracked heat exchanger, combustion gases can get into the airstream through the ducts, and carbon monoxide can get into the house and so forth. Not a good situation. So we upgraded this oil furnace, and we're pretty much committed to oil in this case. We considered changing over to propane, but it would have been a lot of work to put a propane tank in, to remove the old oil tank and such. So we stuck with oil equipment. The old oil furnace was 75% efficient. What that means is that 75% of the heat that you're paying for with that oil delivery gets to your house, and 25% of it goes up the chimney in the form of combustion gases. This new furnace is the highest efficiency you can get when it comes to oil furnaces, which is 87%. Now with propane equipment and natural gas equipment, you can get up to 96% efficient, which means only 4% of your heat that you paid for goes up the chimney. In any event, oil equipment is a little different. We don't get those efficiencies up into the 90s. We have 87% efficient. We have two zone valves, upstairs and downstairs. This oil furnace uses a lot of air for combustion, and through these barometric dampers here, one for the furnace, one for the water heater, draws air from the basement into this barometric damper for dilution air to go up the chimney. And for every 1 part of combustion air, it may draw 8 or 10 parts of dilution air to go up the chimney. Now, this air comes from inside the house. Now, where does the makeup air come from? In other words, if we're drawing air from inside the house to put up the chimney, well, we're depressurizing the basement as a result. And the new air, to replace that air, comes from outside. Because we created a vacuum in the basement, we're sucking air in through the rim joists, through the basement windows, through the cracks and gaps in the top of the foundation and the building assembly. And so that air has to be heated, cooled, dehumidified to be made comfortable. So a high efficiency equipment would have a dedicated air supply right to the combustion chamber and a sealed pipe to the exhaust, so it doesn't draw any air from the conditioned space and cause this depressurization, which sucks unconditioned air from the outside into the building. Now, this particular piece of equipment has what we sometimes refer to as a fan in a can. Basically, it's makeup air, and there's a fan inside here and a duct that goes to the outside, and only when the burner is running does this fan run to bring in makeup air into the basement so that we know where the conditioned air makeup is coming from. It's coming from outside through this duct, which is not necessarily a good thing. We're basically sucking in outside air and blowing it into the basement, but at least we know that there's going to be enough air for combustion and for makeup air while the oil furnace is running, and it's not going to cause any combustion problems because the basement is too depressurized. So this is a good thing for an atmospherically vented oil appliance, but not nearly as good as high efficiency equipment that has sealed combustion and direct vent from the outside to the appliance and from the appliance back to the outside with no effect on the interior air at all. We have a high efficiency air filter. It is 4 inches thick, and it's a Merv 11 air filter, which is a very good air filter which will suck out 90% of the particles over 2 microns in size. All mold spores are greater than 2 microns, so they'll be caught in this filter, and certainly all the household dust and so forth. So that's our oil furnace replacement from Dr. Energy Saver, and there's various kinds of equipment and efficiencies that you would choose. Of course, Dr. Energy Saver always wants to replace your equipment with the highest efficiency equipment available for your situation. And in this case, with an oil furnace, this was it. If you'd like to have your heating system, air conditioning system, or water heater replaced with high efficiency equipment, or make your home more comfortable and more efficient, lower your cost of home ownership by reducing your fuel bills, call Dr. Energy Saver. We'd love to help you.